But joining me right now is the new chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee. He is the congressman from Tennessee's 7th Congressional District. Mark Green joins us. Hello, Congressman. Great to have you with us, sir.
Oh, hi, Vince. It's great to be on with you.
Congratulations on rising to the job of chairman of the Homeland Security Committee. Talk about what you intend to do with this role.
Well, we've got three priorities. The list of everything we want to do is huge, but the top three are, of course, do everything we can to secure the border, secure our cyber border, and then there's some resource and restructuring issues that are necessary at DHS. And so those are the top three, and we're going to progress forward in sort of a three-silo method. We're going to look at the oversight stuff. We've got to do that, hold Mayorkas accountable. And then we'll pass the legislation that I just talked about, the top three priorities that are part of Commitment to America. And then there's some bipartisan stuff on things like cyber and on the restructuring stuff that I think Democrats and Republicans will be able to work together on. So that's sort of the plan of attack in three dimensions.
Okay, let's start with the agency that shares the same name as your committee, Homeland Security. The Department of Homeland Security, led by Alejandro Mayorkas. How soon can we expect the secretary to be in front of you and your committee?
So the timeline right now, we are going from minority to majority. So we have to hire about 25 new people, and I think that's going to consume a few weeks. We've got to get the members on board and get the rules passed that structure how we'll operate as a committee. I'm anticipating it's probably going to be in February, mid-February, maybe late February before we're actually, hammering on Mayorkas. We also have to, all the subpoenas that we're sending, all of the, requests for information, things like that are being dropped almost immediately. So it's going to take, a few weeks for them to get the stuff to us and then us to process it. So I think the earliest will be sort of toward the end of February.
Towards the end of last year, now Speaker Kevin McCarthy had indicated from the border that he said he wanted Mayorkas to either resign or that House Republicans will consider impeaching him. Any status update on that? Does that threat still stand?
Yeah, absolutely. So look, I'm the fact-finding committee. The impeachment, if there is one, will happen in judiciary. But my job will be to take, and we're looking at basically a 5-phase plan of 5 different categories we're going to investigate, and we'll do them one at a time. And by the end of the case, end of the process, I think we'll have enough evidence to hand it over to Jim Jordan in judiciary. But if Mayorkas is still there, I mean, we've got images of things happening at the border that are, the American people will be shocked when they see what's really going on at the southern border.
Wait, things are worse than we even know?
Yeah. I mean, if you take a trip with me. Next time we go, come with me, Vince. I mean, it will enrage you and in many cases bring you to tears. We've had 1,400 migrant deaths in the time this president has been in office. And I mean, the images of this stuff are disturbing. Women that have been scalped by the cartels and just left dead next to an American elementary school. I've seen the images that were brought to me by a former special operations guy who is now in the Guard and served at the same time I was in Iraq and Afghanistan. When we bring this evidence forward, it's going to blow people's minds.
Will the public see photos like this? Do you intend to put these into the public record?
We will absolutely put them in the public record. We will have them blown up on boards when Mr. Mayorkas is subpoenaed and sitting in front of us.
Yeah, it's always a tough. It's an editorial judgment call typically. As a newsroom makes a decision, do we publish these graphic photos? But sometimes a crisis grows so out of control that people need to become aware of the depths that it has reached. Because I've been talking about this Harvard-Harris poll recently that showed that just 13% of the country is aware that we've had over 2 million illegals cross our border. in the last year, just 13%. The rest dramatically underestimate the numbers. And this is because the media is lying about the scale of the border crisis, and it is working. People just don't know what's happening. And you're saying there are photos of women who have been scalped and are dead on our southern border, and they're just not getting out in public.
Yeah, absolutely, and it'll be those editorial boards. I'm not a media guy.
Yeah,
I'm a fact finder, and my job is to just get it out there, and hopefully they'll publish it. Maybe put a warning for children. But I mean, listen, what's happening at our southern border is criminal, and it gets worse from there.
What did you make of the fact that, I'm going to get into this coming up, I'm going to play some of this audio, but that the Mexican president, López Obrador, was congratulating Joe Biden yesterday for not building, quote, a single meter of new wall. He was singing his praises for not building a border barrier.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I was I spoke at CPAC Mexico I went down with Matt Schlapp and spoke at CPAC Mexico in Mexico City, and I met with a bunch of Mexico City business guys. Pretty large business owners down there, and their assertion was that AMLO, 60% of the country is controlled by the cartels, and they think AMLO is at a minimum complicit. So I don't trust anything that AMLO says.
Well, rightfully so. He's attacking sitting Republican governors, and Biden does nothing to defend them. It's just outrageous. Another piece here. You mentioned cyber border, fixing our cyber border. We heard from the White House this morning that this nationwide shutdown of air travel, the first time since September 11th, they claim it was not the result of a cyber attack, but that they also claim that they're still looking for the explanation of why this all happened. Are you concerned about the cybersecurity of our air traffic system?
Well, now that I'm, in this role, I get some special briefings, and I will just say what we know of right now is that it's not cyber. It seems like it's more just aged equipment that broke. But we've sent billions of dollars to foreign countries, and we can't fix our own air traffic control system. That tells you something right there about our priorities. But we've got to get that fixed. But that's the understanding I have at this point. Now,
yes.
With cyber, it takes a lot of time to do the forensics and figure that out.
Okay, and finally, Congressman Mark Green, and thank you for being generous with your time. We have reports this week that Joe Biden was in possession of classified documents since the conclusion of his vice presidency until now, and they're claiming, they just discovered it. But regardless, I remember when this was all swirling around Donald Trump, the claim we were hearing was this was a grave threat to our national security. Now, as the chairman of the House Committee on Homeland Security, are you concerned about these classified documents that Joe Biden was keeping in a private office in Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, let me just say why I'm really concerned is that it went to a university and into a display that was paid for by China. I want to know who's had access to all that in that amount of time. It's also concerning to me that it's TSSCI level stuff. I mean, this isn't, confidential. This isn't secret. This is top secret special compartmented information. This is as high as it gets other than the lettered categories that go beyond that. And it's just ridiculous. And the fact that the federal government knew about it before the election, didn't say anything. Meanwhile, they're prosecuting the former president for having some stuff at his residence. It's just the double standard at DOJ. I cannot wait for the Church-style commission to take on the FBI and dig into the politicization of the FBI. Get the popcorn, Jim Jordan and his guys. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, and I hope useful. I hope productive. We look forward to that.
Absolutely.
Congressman Mark Green of Tennessee, now the chairman of the Homeland Security Committee. We'll have to take you up on that border visit at some point. Thank you, Congressman.
Sounds good, Ben. See you.